Hey guys, how are you? Welcome back to my channel. I actually just wanted to put together this video really quick because I've been getting a lot of DMs lately asking about the whole optometry school interview process, and I've been meaning to make a video about the different things that I went through and my thoughts on the optometry school admissions and interview process. But I've just been all over the place, traveling, lots of work, and catching up on a lot of different things. So it's been a little bit difficult for me to put together an in-depth video, but I did want to answer questions really quick so that it is available to those that are taking interviews pretty soon. I know some of you guys have it scheduled November, December, coming up real soon this fall. So I wanted to make myself available to answer some questions that I've been getting. But first, I did want to thank Dagachi Scrubs for sponsoring me with this cute outfit here. I didn't know scrubs could be so stylish. It has a very cute design here by the neck, a lot of pockets, very comfortable material. Fits really nice. I do have trouble finding scrubs that fit the Asian body comfortably. Sometimes the waist portion is too big, so I've always struggled a little bit to find the perfect fitting scrubs. But I've had really good luck with Dagachi scrubs. The two that I've tried so far have been super comfortable, fit me really well. I can move around pretty good in them, and you'll see me wearing it in clinic through future YouTube videos or even Instagram reels that I've been posting pretty regularly. So check that out when you get a chance. But yeah, let's just dig right into the questions that I have been getting regarding optometry school and optometry school interviews. Okay, so I think one thing that I've been getting asked a lot, wanting to know what kind of questions, so what type of questions I was asked during my interview. And the whole point of an interview, right, is ultimately the school is trying to get to know you. They want to know why they should accept you over everybody else. They've already seen your numbers, they've already seen your application, and now they just want to get to know you more as a person. And so a lot of the questions I felt like, yes, I did get common questions that you can find, probably a list on Google of common optometry school questions. I did get asked some of those, but some of the more rare ones or more personal questions where, they wanted to hear more about my story. They would pick stuff off of my application and wanted me to go more in depth about what I put there, about where I shadowed, about why I wanted to become an optometrist. A lot of the schools asked how my beliefs or my ethics or my desire to become an optometrist align with their school's mission. So I think that's something that I did want to emphasize, is that make sure you know about the school before you go there. And I say this because the school wants to know why you're picking their program over all the other programs that are available to you. If they accept you, they want to also see that you're really interested in this school. So a lot of things go into consideration, I believe, when they ask these questions. A lot of it has to do with trying to figure out like your problem solving skills. They do want to know, do you have the work ethic? Do you have the skill set to really get through optometry school if they were to accept you? I was also asked about some preparation tips. If you know anybody around you that's applied to any kind of grad school at some point or have done any job interviews, it would be really helpful to get in touch with them, have them ask you some mock interview questions, and hear what they have to say about like your posture, the way you talk, how you convey your ideas, putting those thoughts into words, being articulate. All of those things are things you can practice before the interview. But some common things to prepare is have an idea of where you're going. I remember I had to fly into Oregon, actually Arizona, to do an interview there. And I panicked a little bit because the interview was early in the morning, and I realized that Uber was harder to call that early in the morning. So luckily, I did get an Uber on time to get me to the destination, but it is something to consider because now they have those services on Uber where you can pre-arrange for them to come pick you up at a certain time so that the driver is aware. I think that kind of stuff just gives you peace of mind before you go to sleep. I had a friend that forgot to pack pants, so she had to, run to a local Target to grab pants for the interview, and stuff like that happens. It happens all the time. I had a friend who lost an earring, and so she decided just not to wear any earrings. There was a guy that got food poisoning the night before his interview. It's natural for a lot of these things to happen before such a big event because we're just so nervous for it. So just be mindful of that. There's also an importance of knowing the interview format. So a lot of times the schools will tell you before you head to the school for the interview, what kind of format that they use. It could just be like a normal traditional interview model. Now they do like the MMIs where you have multiple mini interviews and you get like small amounts of time with different people, or you rotate into rooms. They have like different scenarios set out for you. They have different ethical questions ready for you. You meet with different people. There was one school for me, I think it was in Texas, where we went from one room to another and interviewed with 3 different people, and they were looking for different things. One was looking for a sociable, like a more social aspect. One was going through your academics and reviewing your application with you, and the other was asking more about ethical questions, problem-solving questions, that kind of stuff. So there's different formats. You can Google all of them, you can look up videos of all of them and how they run, but it is a good idea to have an understanding of what kind of a format the interview is going to be in before you get to the school for the interview. I've had someone ask me about how to present themselves professionally. This includes like dressing, making eye contact, demonstrating good communication skills. You know, there's so much debate on professionalism now because it's just changed a lot from back, even like 4 years ago, 5 years ago, of when I was doing interviews. But I just think of it as like church attire, right? So if I can wear this outfit to church, I should be okay at an interview. You can get fancier than that, of course, but I would try to stay as modest as possible. Women, of course, be a little bit careful about V-necks. That is something that you do want to consider because you may get a female interviewer and they may not love that as much, or even a male interviewer may not think that that's professional, and I think that's something that is still in our society. So I think it is safer to be on like the classic color side, probably nothing too see-through. I think it's okay to say that you're nervous. I know a lot of times, you know, we try to hide our nervousness in front of those interviewing us, and it makes it difficult for us to make eye contact, but they've been in your shoes not too long ago. So I think it's very normal to express and be open about and honest about your nervousness. I was like that. I was very nervous. I've always been a nervous person, and I know it's easier said than done, but have an idea of what you want to share, right? So you really do need to go over some ideas before you get there. You want to know who you are. If you're still figuring that out, that's okay to admit that you're still figuring that out. Most of us going into optometry school are still in our 20s. We do not have our lives figured out. So it's okay to be honest about that. And I think the main point of an interview at the end of the day is for them to know that you will do well once they select you for their school. You'll become an optometrist. You will be a good addition to the field of optometry. So just everything you say, everything you answer, every gesture, every action, just consider that. Even during like downtimes and break times, a lot of people let loose and get really loud or do not conduct professionalism during those times because somehow they think nobody's watching and nobody's assessing, but they are. Like, staff are going to be around you. And also, you never know when you're going to see these people ever again that you're interviewing with too. So it's good to have a sense of humor. I think that's great. It goes a long way, but also to take that opportunity seriously too, and not to mess it up for yourself or for others. Somebody asked me, are we asked to address ethical dilemmas or professional challenges that we might face in our career? Yes, they're big on this. They really want to know why you're doing what you're doing. They want to know how are you going to get through it if it gets difficult for you. One of the common questions I got is, how do you deal with stress? Another thing is, how do you approach an obstacle? I did get asked questions about like patient care. So at this point, they don't expect you to know too much about patient care, but it does kind of come down to how you would handle the situation. One of the questions that I got asked was, you get a patient and the patient passes out in your chair and the patient is no longer able to respond to you. How would you approach that situation? So, you know, stuff like that. Like sometimes you really do have to think off of your feet. There are going to be cases and situations that you've never been in before, and that's okay. The interviewers know that. They just want to know, how would you handle it? Like, what do you think about when these things happen? They want to know like your thought process of how you do problem solving, because optometry is all about problem solving. A lot about figuring out who you're dealing with, what you're dealing with, how you can get this treated, what is the best option for this patient, what is the issue. So there's a lot of problem solving involved and critical thinking involved in this field. So those are the skill sets that the interviewers are going to want to see from you. And then would they ask about personal experiences and stories that highlight your passion for optometry? Yes, they do ask a lot of this question as well. They want to know, why did you pick optometry? What is it that's going to get you through optometry school, the rigorous curriculum of optometry school? How badly do you want to become an optometrist? What are some things that helped you pick this as a profession? So be ready to share, but don't overshare. So I say this because you still want to maintain that atmosphere of professionalism while you're sharing your story. You don't want to be too laid back, and because that's another thing, right? Is like when we share our story over dinner or something like that, our language changes a little bit. We don't speak professionally. Some people cuss, some people elaborate in different ways, but you are still in a professional environment. So try not to overshare. Say the story, tell them about yourself, express yourself through your language, but they're not your friends that you're having dinner with yet. And they may be in the future, but at that moment, I think they really just want to know bits and pieces of your life and of your story and unique qualities that make you stand out. But with all that being said, I think that even if you still maintain professionalism, your personality does always still come out, right? And that's good. They want to know who you are. They want to know how you think about things, and go with the flow. Read the room and read the interviewer a little bit if you can, and just try to express the best that you can yourself. What else? I think it's helpful to turn the interview into a little bit of a dialogue too. So of course they're going to be bombarding you with questions, but you can also answer what you can, and then if you have questions for them or you have follow-up questions regarding something that they asked, it's okay to ask. So I think that just gets the conversation flowing. It's more engaging. When I did interviews for optometry school, I was always just really nervous. I had no confidence in myself. All of the questions, even the most simple common questions, for some reason my brain just wasn't working to answer it. I look back at it now, and retrospectively speaking, a lot of times the people that interview you, if you get into that school, they end up being your professors. When you get to know your professors, you realize, I don't know why I was so nervous, because a lot of time those professors are just like you, they were just trying to get to know you. So as someone that's gone through the program, I just want to let you guys know, I know it's easier said than done, but don't be so nervous. Just think of them as your future professors. You want to get to know them, they want to get to know you. It's okay to make a mistake. It's okay to say something wrong. If you say something wrong, just correct yourself. If you feel like you didn't get to correct yourself, you can always send a follow-up email. One thing I did was I did get each interviewer's emails so that I can ask them any questions or follow up with them, send them a thank you email. And I think it is a good opportunity to get to know the school too on interview day. So once you start going to all these schools, you'll see kind of the school's atmosphere, their organization, how they prepared for this interview, what kind of events they prepared for you. And that gives you a better understanding too of what school you want to commit to for the next 4 years. Pay attention to the details, pay attention to the staff, pay attention to the campus. This is your opportunity to also get to know the school that you will be committing your 4 years to as well for optometry school. Those were the few questions that I got as of late, but feel free to continue sending me messages, to continue leaving comments, and I'll try to answer through like sudden videos like this. I'll try to answer whatever I can to help you get through this process. So I think the main things that I do want to reiterate towards the end of this video is just number one, it's okay to be nervous. Try to be yourself as much as you can throughout the interview process. Number two, do your research on the school. Have a really good idea of what the school's mission is and what the school's current events are, what the school pushes for, what the school is looking for. If you know anybody that went to that school, definitely meet up with them, buy them a cup of coffee, pick their brains, learn as much as you can about the school before going there. Number three, don't be afraid to ask questions to those that are interviewing you. So you're not trying to question them, but it's okay to say, oh, what did you mean by that question if you were not sure? There will be a chance at the end for you to ask questions to them, what you want to know about the school, or you can even ask the interviewers questions that you think are appropriate at the time. And then lastly, prepare everything that you need for the day and double check it before you head over to your interview school. make sure you have all of your outfit, a ride, transportation, make sure all of those things are well thought out and planned out, especially if you're going to a new city or even a new state to do the interview. And then last but not least, I think that's the fifth point, is enjoy the interview process, because it is also a time for you to see if this is the school that you want to go to, if they do pick you. Okay, so best of luck to all of the pre-optometry students out there. I hope that this was a little bit helpful. If you have any other questions, please comment below and subscribe to my channel, and I will try to make more videos like this to help you. Bye.